Today we're looking at President Franklin Pierce. Hello, welcome to the Daily Bellringer. Please don't forget to subscribe and take a look at the questions down in the description. Also, don't forget to check out dailybellringer.com where you'll find more resources that go with many of the Bellringer videos. Franklin Pierce was the 14th President of the United States from 1853 to 1857. Pierce was a Northern Democrat whose presidency coincided with a fierce debate over the issue of slavery and the expansion of the United States. Franklin Pierce was born on November 23, 1804 in Hillsborough, New Hampshire. He was the fifth of 8 children born to Benjamin and Anna Kendrick Pierce. His father Benjamin had served in the American Revolution and since then had been involved in state politics and would later be elected governor of New Hampshire. From a young age, Franklin attended school and received a formal education. In 1820, at the age of 16, he enrolled in Bowdoin College in Brunswick, Maine. After graduating from Bowdoin, he began to study law and by 1827 had opened his own law practice in Hillsborough, New Hampshire. In 1828, Pierce began to get deeply involved in politics. He was a strong supporter of Andrew Jackson and was a Jacksonian Democrat, working to campaign for Jackson during the election of 1828. He aligned himself with the Young Americans movement, which strongly pushed for expansion of the United States. In 1829, he was elected to the New Hampshire House of Representatives, and by 1831 was elected the Speaker of the House there. Then in 1833, he was elected to serve in the United States House of Representatives. The following year, in November of 1834, Franklin married Jane Means Appleton. Together they would have 3 sons, but all 3 died before reaching the age of 12. In 1836, Pierce was elected to the U.S. Senate at the age of only 32 years old. Throughout his time in Congress, he had taken a pro-slavery stance. Although not a slaveholder himself, Pierce fiercely opposed abolitionists and saw the abolitionist movement as being a threat to the nation. So like most Democrats at the time, Pierce generally voted in favor of pro-slavery legislation. In 1842, he resigned from the Senate and returned to Concord, New Hampshire, where his family was living by that point. There, Pierce resumed his career as a successful attorney, but he still kept very involved in politics, helping to campaign for President James K. Polk in 1844. Soon after, the Mexican-American War broke out in 1846. Pierce immediately volunteered and with his congressional background was immediately given the rank of colonel and soon after was promoted to a brigadier general in 1847. Pierce was placed under the command of General Winfield Scott and was involved in the capture of Veracruz and Mexico City. Pierce returned to Concord in 1847 hailed as a hero, although there were suggestions of cowardice while he served. The Compromise of 1850 then became the next major topic debated across the United States. Pierce was in favor of the compromise, but the issue divided the Whigs and Democrats, the 2 major political parties of the time. In June of 1852, the Democratic Party held its convention to choose their candidate for president. Franklin Pierce's name was presented as an unlikely candidate to win the nomination, but after dozens of votes, he emerged as the dark horse winner for the nomination. The Democrats then chose William R. King of Alabama, a pro-slavery senator, to be Pierce's running mate for vice president. Pierce's platform was basically full support for the Compromise of 1850 and pledging not to agitate or cause questioning of the issue of slavery. Running against him, the Whigs chose Pierce's former commander, General Winfield Scott. In the general election, Pierce won by a landslide in the Electoral College, 254 to 42, but narrowly won the popular vote. Soon, tragedy struck Pierce's family as while traveling after the election, there was a train derailment in which the Pierce's only surviving son, 11-year-old Benny, was killed. It was in this state of mourning that Pierce was inaugurated on March 4th of 1853. As president, Pierce continued to push for expansion by trying to convince Spain to sell Cuba to the United States and by sending diplomat James Gadsden to Mexico to negotiate the $10 million purchase of present-day southern Arizona and New Mexico in the Gadsden's purchase. But Pierce's most controversial decision was signing the Kansas-Nebraska Act into law in May of 1854. The fallout from this legislation would spark fighting in Kansas to break out and be a key contributing factor to the eventual Civil War. This controversy made Pierce very unpopular and resulted in him not getting the Democratic nomination to run for a second term in 1856, as instead the Democrats chose James Buchanan. As the Civil War began in 1861, Pierce was very critical of President Abraham Lincoln and his handling of the war. In 1863, his wife Jane died from tuberculosis, and it said Pierce began drinking very heavily, which contributed to his eventual death from cirrhosis of the liver. Franklin Pierce died October 8, 1869, at the age of 64 in Concord, New Hampshire. So with that, hopefully you learned something, and thanks for watching.